And everyone, welcome to the Xperience. My name is Michael Lindenbaum, and we are brought to you by DerbyCon, which is December 4th through 6th at the Hyatt Morristown in Morristown, New Jersey. Come see special guests like Karel Struken, Richard Hatch, Michael H. Hansen, and many others. For more information, please visit derbycon.com. And joining me today is Mike and Jim from Cinematic for the People. Gentlemen, how are you?
I am good. I've driven from Dayton to Ann Arbor to Washington, D.C. in less than 24 hours.
Do you have any idea the amount of just sweaty something you can get in the folds after that much time in a car? I'm just saying, it's not a pretty picture.
And where do you guys drive from?
Dayton. I live in Dayton, Ohio, and then I drove up to Ann Arbor to pick him up, and then we drove here.
How long from Ann Arbor, Michigan to Rockville, Maryland?
It's supposedly 7 hours, but of course it's longer than that.
Yeah, it's 7 hours in fish measurement, or in reverse fish measurement, I guess it would be, because it says that it's 7 hours, but it's actually like 11.
I took a trip and it was this long.
As everyone in podcast land is going, what's he doing by going this long?
The fish fry.
And now I'm waving at you. Hello, people in podcast land.
We usually work on video.
We don't do video. I do make a video, and there'll be a picture of you two that everyone will be staring at while they're watching on YouTube, and it'll just be that.
Oh boy.
It's just that.
They're used to that. They stare at us a lot.
Yeah, they're used to us just going into the camera, and hopefully the conveyed the facial expression I was making there, since this is radio.
But Cinematic for the People. I remember you guys being here at Intervention last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was also a lot more fun because we were also doing the live feed, and we literally had 3 Michaels and a Russell.
Indeed.
At the Tour Radio Podcasting.
It was the worst title for a porn ever.
Russell and the Mics?
Yes.
I thought it was a fun name. Oh, it's right. You're talking about...
Like the hallway over there.
Yes.
And the joys of live radio. That's
Hurrah.
being recorded. Yay!
They think we work for the con. We're here to help them.
The lab coats make us official.
It's true.
I'm Dr. Jim.
You're not a doctor.
Hey, I paid $200 to the University of Columbia. I am a doctor according to them.
No, you didn't read it right. It said the coffee was doctored.
I didn't even get any coffee. I have a big, shiny paper certificate with, embossed stuff on it.
That was the bag!
It says that I am Doctori. I don't know. What language do they speak in Colombia?
Colombian.
Colombian? Is that a thing?
Type of a Spanish.
Is it? Because, I don't want to be like, they speak Mexican in Mexico.
I just say they all speak Spanish. Even though there's varying degrees. There are varying degrees.
Let's go with Cambodia. That's even more sketch sounding.
I think we're running this whole coffee joke into the ground.
There was never a coffee joke in the first place.
Okay, now we're just doctoring this whole thing.
Yes. Now, with Cinematic for the People, you guys were here last year. What is going to be different this year at Intervention for you guys?
What's going to be different this year? Well, Jim will be here for one. He wasn't able to join us last year.
Yes, last year this convention was counter-indicated by my daughter's birthday. But I'm here this year. And this year we got 2 new movies that we're going to be doing live. We're going to be doing Buck Rogers in Planet Outlaws tonight. It's a 1930s serial that was then re-edited. It was like a 13-part serial, and then it was re-edited down into a 80-minute movie in the 1940s because they didn't have VHS cassette tapes and repeats and stuff like that. So they were like, this is going to be completely new for these children who've never seen this before. Let's cut out all of the exposition so that it's just people yelling and punching one another.
And it's as action-packed as you would think.
And the second film?
The second film will be a new thing that we have never done before called Cyborg 2087. Which is a really, really weird jaunt about a cyborg coming from the future to prevent disaster of a scientist who's trying to create basically an artificial intelligence kind of technology that will eventually destroy the world. So a Terminator, a cyborg is sent back to stop him from doing that. And then other cyborgs come back to stop him from stopping him. And hilarity ensues.
So a really bad time cop Terminator meets each other type deal?
Pretty much. It has all the elements of those other movies. You will recognize them. It's like this was the case zero of all the time travel movies you've ever seen.
Because it's what, 1960 something, 1970?
Yeah, something like that.
It predates all of the significantly better movies by many, many years. And it is as action-packed as you would think that it would be, in that it is not even slightly action-packed. It is an incredibly boring and dry movie.
Yeah, especially since your so-called futuristic cyborgs are basically slightly tubby men in helmets and silver booties.
Yeah, they look like the U.S. box art cover for the original Mega Man game.
Yes, they do, actually. It's kind of amazing.
Considerably like it, in fact. It looks just like the U.S. Mega Man.
Now my personal assistant, Dixon, is just over here sitting going like my mind is blown. Why is this happening?
That's why we had to do the movie. It's like, this is amazing. We have to share this with the world.
Now, have you guys been coming out with anything new online since last year?
Well, Russ, who is not here because of an unfortunate shark-related incident, he has been doing a Blueberry Hill series on our YouTube page, which is like exploring the mythos of this fantasy realm thingy he's creating that none of us really understand except him.
It's mostly the ins and outs of his barony and the things that happen in his wonderful little, mythos.
Russ is one of those people that if you're like sitting down to play 5th edition D&D and it's like, okay, you're the archer, you're an elven archer, he's like, okay, and then he comes back to the next section and he has 2,000 or 3,000 pages worth of character notes that he's written about his elven archer.
I'm pretty sure that's your typical Vampire the Masquerade player.
Yes. Well, so we are about to start season 3 of Cinematic for the People back up. We did the first 2 episodes at the beginning of the year, and then my computer done blowed up. So it's back, it's up, it's running. We've got a new office, and we are going to be mass producing episodes in the next couple of months. There's going to be many new CFTPs out, including a non-convention-y version of Cyborg 2087 that you can watch at home.
And then, of course, as I was maneuvering...
Suddenly
just dropping. Yeah, you guys also have permission to use my film Cosplay Life, which we had actually talked about last year, but...
We will be setting up to be able to riff our very first non-public domain movie, which shall be magical.
And I'm going to have fun watching or participating, or both.
Yeah, it will be kind of like a Friars Club roast where we know the person that made it, so we can make direct references to you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little weird. It almost sort of feels like I'm going to prom and the dad's like, "Yeah, I know my daughter's pretty. Have fun." I'm like, "Don't do that! It totally like messes with the vibe for me."
It gets really awkward after.
Yeah, it's like. Okay.
But you know what? But you know what though? Just go all out. Just have fun.
We will.
Because the thing is that like even when I watch it, I still make fun of it. Mm-hmm. It's like just go for it. Make fun of it. I don't care.
It's what you have to do. I mean, and that's among not just movies. It's among us too. I mean, the entire drive here was basically the two of us back and forth doing random whatever.
Yeah, I was explaining my theory about dentists. I have this terrible fear of dentists, and were I to have my druthers, when I needed to go to the dentist, like, I would go someplace not even dentist related, like I'm going to the store to get a jug of milk, and as I get out of my car, a ninja trank darts me from like the bushes, and then they drag me into like the dentist van and drive me to the dentist, and they do the work, and then I wake up like an abandoned parking lot at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh, damn dentists, every single time. And and then I'm done, and I don't have to think about it.
Well, think of it like this. At least you're not going through what I've had to go through.
Yes.
As I just flashed my braces, which I saw the orthodontist yesterday. And, of course, we're recording this on August 14th, and this is airing like the second weekend of September. I'm 2 to 3 appointments away from having them finally taken off. Now, you remember because I just started the braces, so you knew about the surgery that I had to have.
Right.
So let me explain the surgery that I had to have. I had to have my jaw completely redone. And we've pretty much come down to the story of when I was in the hospital getting the surgery, they weren't really having surgery on my face. They were really hitting me in the face with a baseball bat. Because when I came out, I literally looked like Quagmire from Family Guy after it was all said and done.
Giggity.
Giggity. But
see, if you were going to have something that extensive, though, could you at least get an upgrade? Like, could they add, like, hinges to your jaws so you can be like a snake and, like, extend your mouth to grab things?
Well, that would take a while just to even get the mouth open back up. I'm finally starting to get it open fully again.
See,
and it's been 6 months since the surgery. It takes time.
I'm sure.
And
I'm just imagining the Attack on Titan cosplay. It would be amazing.
Oh, man. Speaking of Attack on Titan, have you seen the stuff for the live film?
I have seen the trailers and such.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about it yet.
I'm not sure about certain things, but I definitely want to see that because it looks really good.
Well,
their aspects.
I would really rather, instead of seeing a remake live, I would like to see season 2.
Oh, no. I agree completely with that. Well, they're also doing, if you read the manga, they're doing the prequels, and they're doing the spin-off, which is, not a spin-off, but a parody of it, which is Attack on Junior High.
See, I can't take Attack on the Titan seriously because every single fiber of my being when I'm watching it goes, all right, where are the giant robots in this universe? Because seriously, if they ever needed a giant robot in an anime, this is like, there have been shows where there was really no good reason for the giant robot. They could have done the job with tanks and planes and stuff. This is a time you need giant robots.
But they don't have the technology for it.
They had the technology at one point in time. They were just like, we could let civilization be destroyed, and we could do this complicated thing with these really giant walls, or we could, make a giant robot. And they're like, I don't know.
Well,
so what you want?
We saw what happened in Pacific Rim. Building a giant wall is a really stupid idea to
right,
begin with.
And the
it
giant
really
robots fixed the situation in Pacific Rim.
It went, wall, crash. It was great.
Yes, the giant robots beat the giant wall every single time, and obviously they didn't learn. Like, okay, so they don't have sufficient technology to create a giant robot, yet they have like 4-dimensional harpoons that they can use to fling themselves through space. And
sure, why not?
Yes.
Okay, here's the solution for you then. Season 2, we get Gary Stu Senpai that is supposed to be the action hero that can turn into one of the Titans. You build him a set of armor.
Alert, by the way,
it's
folks.
in like the first couple episodes. We know what it is. It's fine. It's part of the whole thing. You build him a set of armor. So when he transforms, suddenly he becomes the giant robot.
That's very Evangelion, and Evangelion was bad even for
Evangelion was awesome. Come on.
No, it was. I had to do. I've never done it at intervention, but I had to do an entire hour-long therapy session at conventions where I was explaining what in the hell was going on at Evangelion to people.
Which is what makes it so magical. It's the hipster cred of anime. Okay? If you can understand this anime, you can hold it above everybody.
Until they reinvent the entire story 2 years later, which they've done 3 times since then.
Yeah, but nobody ever watches the remix.
Well, that's okay. They're never going to finish it anyway. I mean,
yeah, it's true. It'll never happen.
I think they should have been done with the 4th movie about 6 years ago, and they just came out with the 3rd one, so it's,
That's because their budget couldn't afford the drugs anymore.
Gotta love it when budgets have drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you've ever watched Evangelion, the budget definitely had drugs. Good ones, too. Not just like crystal meth.
No.
like shrooms and peyote and some LSD.
They were inventing new stuff. This is where you would like end up getting like crystal horse. It's like, what did you do with this? We literally took a horse and somehow de-atomized and turned it into crystal powder and then snorted it. This is what we took while making this show.
I call this super mescaline. It's like mescaline,
but
super.
It's the most magical thing ever.
Speaking of the most magical thing ever, we're all just laughing.
Cosplay Life. We're gonna be watching that.
No, not the most magical thing ever. What do you think has been the most magical thing to ever happen to cinematic for the people?
That's a tough call. Yeah. I can name one of the worst things that ever happened to us. I think that's much easier to say.
They go for that. And
I'm pretty sure one of the most magical things I can remember is when you get that first time that you're showing a movie at a convention and you get like an entire room of people behind you, yes. And it's just
the
energy.
The car moment.
Yes.
There was it's Atomic Rulers. It's a Japanese Superman ripoff, and the guy in it is Starman.
Starman, from the Emerald Planet.
Or Supergiant in the original Japanese. And we decided about 10 minutes into the movie that we didn't like him, and that we were rooting for the bad guys. And so there's a scene where one of the bad guys, for no apparent reason, tries to just run him down with this big boat of a car. And we all start chanting, like, do it, come on, car, 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 car. And the entire audience just picked up and started chanting car with us, as it's like this car trying to run into him and he's pushing back against the car. And it was a very magical moment.
It was beautiful.
Now you're alluding to, you could think of more worst moments.
The very first live performance that we did, and I know that live performances will always have some bugs, but the very first time we did it, we had the room all reserved in advance, we'd scouted it, we made sure that everything was working good. There was a group of DDR people in there, or were they good? Was it DDR or Guitar Hero?
I think it was Guitar Hero.
Or Rock Band. Something. They were in there before we were. And when they finished up, they took the projector and the speakers with them.
Oh.
So we had drummed up a fairly large crowd, like 16, 20, 25 people for this, our first performance ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got there, and there's no speakers, and there's no projector, and there's no anything, and like, we start, da, 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 putting all of the, like, we're going to run through all of the filler material and the host segments and stuff that we were going to do now, while we've got con helpers running all over looking for our equipment, which has magically disappeared. And we wound up watching the movie with no audio.
Well, we all tried to crowd around the speaker coming out of the projector, basically.
Yeah, like we had the entire room full of people that had not wandered off watching this movie on my laptop. And the thing that got me, and the reason that it's especially heartbreaking, is one of the people was the great Luke Ski. He is a nerdcore musician. He's a member of the Fump. And he was the voice of Spork on Mystery Spatula Theater 11, which was a MST3K ripoff parody thingy that he had done with some other people several years beforehand, and had a prominent position at that convention. So he's there in the audience watching us to see what the new riffing people are doing.
The new kids on the block.
Yeah, we're just then going, notice me, senpai!
And we are failing abysmally. And it's not our fault even, because all of our stuff was gone, but we're just like, hi.
Don't hate us.
We're going to try and do this. So for that convention, they do this tradition where they've got little stickers that you stick on the bottom of your convention badges, which are, they do these people will develop these huge chain of ribbons that they have attached to them. So we have our own special I Survived a Cinematic for the People show ribbon that we came out with the next year that anybody that comes to one of our shows gets to attach to their thing to show that they came, they saw, and they didn't die.
They survived.
Yes.
So that was a glory. That really kicks you in the butt right at the beginning and go, no, things can go horribly wrong. Make sure this is going to go okay.
Now, I just got to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
Back in Easter weekend, actually at this very hotel, in the screening room for T-Mode, I got the screen Cosplay Life. Nobody showed up.
Oh yeah. That's
so I'm literally sitting in an empty room by myself, and then as the credits came up, people started coming in.
Oh, no.
I was like thinking to myself, you know what? The hell with this. There's nobody on after me. I'm going to take up this room.
Let's do it again.
So actually, no. Instead of doing that, I did what was called producer's cut, because I wasn't the director of the film. I just wrote, and produced it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did what I call producer's cut, and I just skipping the good stuff and talking about the bad stuff in the film.
Nice.
And I was like, if you want to see this, come to the next convention that we're going to be at. Here's our card, and come see us. So I took a bad situation, I turned it good.
That is what you're trying to do. I think that experience, because of the noise issue, because we didn't hear it, is one of the reasons why we now do subtitles on all of our films.
Yeah, whenever we're doing a live production, we do subtitles, but our subtitles are not always the most accurate, but they're... Basically, they started out as being accurate, and then after about a half an hour of subtitling the movie, I was like, can I swear on this podcast?
No?
No.
Okay.
This
is a PG-13 or PG-13 one, yeah.
I was
Rein
like...
it in. Put your pants back.
Wait, we're wearing pants?
Nah.
See, that's the great thing about being podcasting. We're not wearing pants.
We're on video all the time.
I was like, to heck with this dookie.
Oh, you could say hell. You could say hell and damn.
To hell with this poop. I can't take this anymore. And so the subtitles started diverging into the, like I started deliberately getting characters' names wrong and changing the lines to give them sinister implications and implying other characters had died while they were off screen and just really messing with the movie. And that's sort of become a tradition now that the subtitles that we have are almost like an extra riffer. They take on a life of their own and screw with the movie.
Good luck with Cosplay Life. There is no subtitles.
Yet.
We make them.
We make them ourselves.
Yeah, we have
nice.
programs that will actually listen to the movie and write the subtitles.
Yeah, we have
directly.
to sit there and go, alright, what did they just say? Alright, click, 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 click. Okay, next line, click, 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 click. We do that with all of the movies that we do live.
I could just send you the script.
That would also work.
That'd be a lot less fun.
True.
If
True,
it is
because,
digital.
Because then we wouldn't have to guess what you were saying and make up our own dialogue.
I'll give you the script for what everyone else says, except for me.
But see, that's part of the fun of it, because it's not only you're not trying to copy what they're actually saying. It's if you're hearing it quick enough, you hear it wrong, and so that inspires what you put in as the subtitle. It's like I did the subtitles that we're doing tonight for Planet Outlaws, and because they compacted the movie and they were trying to fill time so much, they speak really, really quickly. Like they have like 30-word sentences that they do in like 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. It's stupidly ridiculous. So I had to try to translate those concepts into these tiny little things. And yeah, you end up getting really freaky stuff once you get enough of those.
But that's the great thing. That's actually one of the best things about watching the older foreign films with the subtitles, because you'll be reading it and it's like, is that what he really said? I don't believe that.
Yeah. Trying to translate concepts.
So,
In was it Gamera versus Ginger? There's a little British girl for no apparent reason, and my wife did the subtitles for that one, and she decided that little girl was like the spawn of Satan or something. So all of her dialogue it's just it's like, I'm going to kill you last. When she says something like nice to her father, she's like, I love you, Daddy, and the subtitle's like, I'm going to kill you last. Just, that's, yeah.
She also did spend a lot of her time looking at people with stares of absolute hatred.
Because there was like no floor direction for the little girl whatsoever. It was just, alright, so you got to get from over here on this side of the screen to over there on that side of the screen by the time this scene is over. And so she would just sort of like stand there staring at the wall, and then when the scene was over, she'd like pop back into life and walk off to the... I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's a Gamera movie.
Now, the little girl, this is what we're going to have you do. Actually, no, even better. Dixon, this is what we're going to have you do. Because we have a fourth person here who just isn't talking. Hi, Dixon. Dixon, what we're going to have you do is when we roll the camera, we just want you to go to the corner. And we just want you to stand there. Even though you have lines, we just want you to stand there. Don't get up, you idiot. Sit down. And then when we say, okay, cut, that's when we want you to start saying your lines.
You thought we actually have a camera. That's good.
It's like, you don't have a camera. Well, we do. I mean, we all have smartphones now, so we all have a camera now.
I don't have a smartphone, but still.
Oh, you still have a flip phone?
I do.
He does, and it's so irritating.
I've spent so much of my time as a multimedia designer and doing other things that when I'm not at the computer, I want to unplug from the computer and not be able to reach. I've gotten myself into the mentality of that. It's like, I can't be attached to it.
No, that's fair. I mean, and with the way smartphones are now, and we have our tablets, and it's like everything's online now.
It also gets really scary. Like, I'm at work, and I go up and down the elevators, and just sit there with a crowd of 5 or 6 people, and they're all just staring at their phones.
Well,
this is creepy.
See, that's why I love it. If people could buy friggin' Google Glass like I wanted for so many years. I love Google Glass. If you're listening, Google, I will let you rip out one of my eyeballs and replace it with a cybernetic eye. I will.
You'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll sign whatever you need me to in blood. I can sign it in the blood of my firstborn. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind. She'd be like, Daddy's going to get a new eyeball. I'll let him do this.
How old is the firstborn?
She's like 6 now.
She's old enough. She knows what's going on.
Yeah, if I told her this, she was like, they're going to give you a robot eye, Daddy. That's so exciting.
Oh, man. See, I was never a big fan of that. But, yeah, I agree. It's just, in, like, all the security breaches you've been seeing lately, too, it's just like, do I really want to have my bank account, my credit cards, my personal information, my driver's license, my driver's, insurance, and all this other. Do I really want to have it all on my smartphone?
It's not even just that. You now have the point that people are able to hack your car to break into it because it's all electronic now.
Yeah.
It's like, I can send a signal that will open your locks and start the engine.
Well, luckily for me, my car is a 2007, so that's before that technology. So I'm
Mine's
kind of
the 1999, actually.
The van I used to drive was a 98.
There you go.
I had a 79 VW Microbus. Died.
A horrible death.
I killed the van. I kind of crashed it.
It caught fire, as all VW Microbuses eventually do. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And everyone who owns one knows they are essentially driving a time bomb. And we're okay with that.
Just as long as you're not in there when it explodes, that's all that matters.
Like, they don't really explode. What usually happens is the back end just sort of catches on fire, and you look in the back in the rearview mirror, and you're like, oh hey, there's fire. I think I should probably wait. Do I slow down? The car's on fire, or do I speed up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that occurs because it's the friction being caused by it trying to drag itself back to the 60s causes the spontaneous combustion.
Did you sell it?
No.
The K9 one?
No, it is still there.
Think about it. 99%.
Look at that. We just did a business transaction on the podcast.
It is indeed. Among the other things we have here at the con, like our DVDs and such, we also sell our own customized Tom Servo-style robots.
Which I really, really want one, but I need to have a place of my own before I can get one.
Sure enough,
Which
they do
makes
take
sense.
a little space. You need a place to
Well,
put
they're
them.
freaking beautiful. And actually, if you guys don't mind, I want to take some pictures because, like I said, when we do the YouTube version, I want to put some of the pictures of you guys' other work because I would love to showcase these things. Because I remember seeing them last year. I was like, Mr. Science Theater 2000. Oh my God.
They keep getting better. These techniques keep improving. We keep on getting new and weird styles that they're being made in. All different themes. So, I don't know.
Have you ever just taken a gumball machine and just had at it?
I did. I tried once. I attempted to build a servo once, except mine was like themed as like the illegitimate child of one of Jim's servos, because there was a story about Hal having a tryst one year with a blender when he got drunk, and so I created a servo that was basically a blender with a head stuck on the top of it, and it worked. It was still a blender, but it had a servo head. It was
So if I were to just give you a full metal gumball machine, could you do it?
sure Jim could do it.
I could probably do it. My servo design philosophy is a little different than Russ's. Does a lot of little fiddly bits. Mine are like utilitarian service servos that can, like, if you accidentally left this on the top of your car and started driving and it fell down, you could put it back together again and it would be fine.
It would probably survive.
Yeah, it would probably survive. Mine are meant to be able to, like, be broken down and shoved in luggage and all sorts of stuff like that.
Well, yours are all field tested by a 6-year-old too. So.
Yes, that is true.
So you have your great quality assurance testing.
Yes.
That's what 6-year-olds are meant for, man. They're meant for quality assurance testing.
And that's why Hal.
Does this work good? Bam. Yep. She threw it and did break.
And that's why Hal doesn't come to the conventions anymore. Just got tested too much.
Well, I mean, he is like 8 years old at this point. Do you have any idea how many Tom servos MST3K burned through over the years? I mean, there was probably like a graveyard of dead Tom servos behind the KTMA studios where they filmed it at, or Best Brains, or wherever it was. Because they if you watch like the episode to episode, they are constantly replacing both of the bots. And I think that's like the terrifying, horrible thing that most people don't realize is, my philosophy grew up from the whole, originally the bots were just like random crap that they found that they put together. And then there's a bunch of people that are like the quote-unquote bot builders that are like, I'm going to try and make a show actor out of one. And there is no show actor. They changed them all the time. They were constantly evolving them. So I just used whatever random crap I could find.
They all have their own little personalities, their own.
Yep.
And like the one I'm looking at, it looks like you did a water bottle,
Yes.
Water bottle.
It's like one of those 1 liter jugs that's designed to look like the little
the thing in the
version of the water cooler jug.
Yeah, one of those. And then it looks like a gumball machine on top, or like a mini kid one. A bowl on the bottom.
Yep.
And what did you use for the arms and for that centerpiece?
The arms here are the shoulders are fur and PVC mounting, and then the tube here, which you can take some pictures of this. The tube is washing machine hose, like drainage hose, and then the hands are taken from rescue heroes. Like I find rescue heroes at the thrift store, and I rip their arms off. And it's the most satisfying thing in the world. It's like, I'm destroying children's toys. And then,
don't you judge, Dixon, don't you judge.
And then the centerpiece is a target from a, laser tag game. But yeah.
And then, of course, you got foam on the bottom, which is like your typical PVC type foam.
Yeah, it's the foam that has a hole in the center of it, so that you can like.
We call it, in LARPing we just call it PVC foam because you can put a PVC pipe through.
Right.
So yeah,
it's like pipe insulation foam.
Yeah, that's what it is, insulation foam. Yeah.
So Takei's been traveling for a few years.
Yeah, Takei has had a couple of years on him, and he's starting to get a little roughed up, so we will probably be replacing him, I don't know, in the next year or so with a new and improved field model, and then he will go to the Great Servo reliquary in the office where he is forever immortalized next to the remains of Hal.
No, we need like a museum hallway of just glass cases with
Full of
lights
broken
coming down.
servo parts.
Yes.
Now we're getting near the end because there's much more recording that has to be done for intervention. This is obviously the Xperience's intervention coverage, airing in September. So real quick, plug your guys, cinematic for the people and yourselves, as they just stare at each other, going like, "Oh, rock paper scissors."
Yeah.
And they keep. Oh, it looks like Mike won. So
all right. So, Cinematic for the People is a internet. Yeah. It's internet. Bleh. I haven't done this in like 2 years, so.
Why you need practice?
Cinematic for the People is a television show produced exclusively for the internet. We try and make about 13 episodes a year. It is a ripping of public domain movies in the style of Mystery Science Theater 3000, Rip Tracks, Incognito, Cinema Warriors. Or for those of you youngins who are hep to the new cool Minecraft things, it's sort of like a Let's Play, except there's no video game. It's a movie, and we're not playing it, we're just watching it. That's how I've had to describe it to some people who didn't get the idea. So,
those young hip wannabes.
Yes, those young hip 30-somethings with their Minecraft and their Tamagotchis and
their loops and their
light up
radios.
And
where can they find you on the interwebs?
Our website is cftp.us or cinematicftp.com. They both take you to the website, and that's got links to the YouTube page, the Facebook page, the Twitter account,
Google Plus,
our Pinterest, our LinkedIn profile,
probably Jim's home address somewhere.
We're on Friendster.
We want to meet people like us. We need friends.
Friends are nice.
We're good. Our TV show's OK Cupid profile.
Oh, don't get me started on OK Cupid, man. Don't get me started.
And I think there's a Friendster somewhere in there too, but that's only for certain people.
Right. Any self-promotion for either of you gentlemen?
No, this kind of takes up my life. I mean, I have a podcast that I do occasionally called Note to Self Name Podcast, which is on Spreaker, and also linked heavily on our stuff. And they're supposed to be doing a podcast, Mike and Ross, but they are slow and lazy and distracted.
Well, that's also because there's a potential project between the three of us as well. So
we're talking about a few things.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the Bacon Fortress, as it's called, has had some rough starts. Every time we try to record an episode, something's blown up and we haven't been able to record it. It's kind of cursed at this point. But on the CFTP YouTube page, there's one episode called Episode 0, The Wine Encounter, where you could watch the unfolding of destruction of us trying to record a podcast while Bronwyn tries to open a bottle of wine for 45 minutes. It's kind of magical, actually.
Well, with that note, Jim, Mike, Cinematic for the People, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as always, I am Michael Lindenbaum. You can follow me on Twitter at TheLindenbaum75. Facebook.com/X75 Productions. Also note that on October 3rd that my new podcast, The Xperience Hockey Talks, which is an all hockey show, serious hockey talk for the serious hockey fan, debuts on Tour Radio. And you can follow that on @Xperience Hockey. And that's no E at the beginning of Xperience. Now, of course, I want to thank my sponsor, DerpyCon, which is December 4th through 6th at the Hyatt Morristown in Morristown, New Jersey. Come see special guests like Karel Struken, Richard Hatch, Michael H. Hansen, and many others. For more information, please visit derpycon.com. And for me, I'll see you all on the flip side.